has been kind of an interesting series between the Phillies and the Giants in 2 of the ball games. The Phillies actually had the lead and looked like they were going to pull off a victory. Game number 1, Cliff Lee off the disabled list gives up this bloop to give the Giants the lead. But then Ryan Howard answers with a bloop of his own down the left field line against Ryan Vogelsong. That scored a couple, and the Phillies had the lead. But then the Giants retook the lead for good on this home run to center field by rookie Adam Duvall. Bruce Bochy says that he has easy power, and that led to the Giants' victory in Game 1. Game 2, Hunter Pence, how about this one? 450 feet against Roberto Hernandez, whose sinker was pretty good at certain times, but not there. No problem, though. Jimmy Rollins would answer with a 2-run home run of his own, his 5th homer in 10 games, and the Phillies had the lead again. And then Jonathan Papelbon just didn't get this pitch in enough to Buster Posey. He tied it in the 9th, and then in the 14th inning, Brandon Crawford sliced one the opposite way, a 3-run bases-clearing double. The Giants scored one more. They went on to a 9-6 victory. Game number 3, outstanding pitchers duel between A.J. Burnett and Madison Bumgarner. Both guys, 8 scoreless innings. Burnett's breaking ball was fantastic, and both starting pitchers had to endure a 59-minute rain delay. It didn't faze them at all. Bumgarner threw some great breaking pitches and some good fastballs. Then in the 9th, scoreless game. Papelbon thought he had. Hunter Pence struck out. He didn't get the strike, and then Pence loops a 3-run double down the right field line, and that was what the Giants needed to pick up a win in Game 3, and today they'll go for the series sweep. Here at Citizens Bank Park, it's the final day between the Phils and the Giants. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. All that offense, and the Phillies really have struggled with runners in scoring position, but the Giants haven't. With all that offense, we thought we'd neutralize things and talk about today's starting pitching matchup. Let's begin with Cole Hamels for the Phils.
Yeah, and Cole Hamels is coming off of a very good start. And actually, he's really thrown the ball quite well this year since coming back from the disabled list. And here in his last start, Cole really established his fastball early in this game and then allowed himself. And again, he shows a good pickoff move there and shows the abilities that he has on a consistent basis. Now here, we've got his opponent today, Tim Hudson, who is a guy early in his career really relied on the sinker down and the split. But as he's gotten a little bit older, he's learned how to pitch a little more effectively. He's now relying a little bit more on the slider, still using his split and his effective sinker.
Well, and obviously he's had a good year because he was a member of the National League squad of this year's All-Star game. So far, 8-6, a 2.78 ERA. Look at Hamels. Doesn't have the win total, but certainly has the earned run average.
Yeah, he does. And this game today has a great opportunity to be just like last night's pitcher's duel.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's a great matchup. They've seen each other a number of times before. They have faced each other a number of times before. It's another matchup between Cole Hamels and Tim Hudson. Well, Hunter Pence has done it all in this series for the Giants. He even resuscitated the Fanatic. He's back in the lineup. He's had a great road trip for San Francisco as the leadoff hitter. When we return to Citizens Bank Park, we'll get to the lineups for both the Giants and the Phils, and then the finale of this 4-game series. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. Cole Hamels warming up out of the mound. Let's take a look at the Giants starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in right field, Hunter Pence. Batting second is A-Ray Adrianza, the second baseman. Buster Posey hits third, followed by Pablo Sandoval and Michael Morse. Adam Duvall, the first baseman, will hit sixth. And the bottom third of Arias Blanco and Tim Hudson. They'll face Phillies lefty Cole Hamels, the 30-year-old, with 103 career wins. Trying to get to the 500 mark, but he hasn't pitched like a pitcher that is trying to get to the 500 mark. He's been very good all season long for the Phillies.
He has been good, and I think this is again what you're seeing, what abilities Cole Hamels has, but I think the lack of run support has had an effect on him mentally, and I think he's now starting to learn how to deal with it and get through it. And if you really think about it, it hasn't really affected his pitching in a horrible way,
right?
But it has affected his pitching.
You see his numbers against the Giants for his career: 5-3 with an ERA of 3.75. So he'll face Hunter Pence to start things off. How about the series that Pence is having? Time now for our Nissan keys to today's ball game.
And my first key today is for Darren Ruff to stay within himself and show his abilities. And I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of distraction around him. He just has to go out and play and play the way he's capable of playing to show Ryan Sandberg and his staff what his abilities really are at the major league level. And then the second one is to avoid this 4-game sweep.
Well, they get off on a good note because they get Hunter Pence out front on a changeup. There's one out here in the first. Will Nieves is doing the catching here today. Carlos Ruiz started last night. They're easing Carlos kind of back into the swing of things, and Will has not started since coming off the DL. Carlos said yesterday that he feels outstanding. Said his legs feel good, his head feels good. Here's Adrianza, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. It's 0-1. But in today's day and age, and rightfully so, they handle concussions a lot differently than they did even 5 years ago. And a day game after a night game, they give him a chance to catch his breath. High fastball swung out and missed. It's 0-2. 94 on that fastball from Hamels.
And I like Cole right there. He exposed Adrianza with that high fastball, knowing that he'll probably go back to that later in the game.
2 outs on 2 fly balls.
And then he flat out beat him with that high fastball. And he showed that he will chase that. So don't be surprised to see that in another at bat, maybe with the game on the line.
Well, now Buster Posey's going to come up. Posey's hitting .412 lifetime against the Phils. In the series, he's 5 for 14 against them, back behind the plate. Swing and a miss. Boy, he's got a crisp fastball tonight or today. I'm not saying that it's 5 miles an hour heavier than what it usually is, but 94 on 3 fastballs so far.
Well, and it's great that, Tom, that you noticed that, and that's a huge credit to Cole. And one thing I'd like to point out, and I think that was a difference with Cliff the other night, just coming off the DL. He didn't have that little giddy up. His fastball velocity was where it normally is, but you didn't see that extra life on the ball.
95. And again, I don't want to say that it's a big deal that it's 2 miles an hour more or 3 miles an hour more from one start to another. Because I know, and you know this better than anybody, Jamie, there's days where you feel a little looser than other days. Swing and a miss. He got it. He just blew away Buster Posey. A 1-2-3 first inning for Cole Hamels. Well, he's got a live fastball again here today. Even In there, half of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup for today. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Ben Revere leads it off in center. Jimmy Rollins bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Marlon Byrd and Grady Sizemore. Darren Ruff starts again at first base for Ryan Howard. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third, Abashi, Nieves, and Cole Hamels. And they'll face veteran right-hander Tim Hudson, the 39-year-old. Done a nice job for the Giants this year. He replaced Madison Bumgarner on this year's National League roster for the All-Star game because Bumgarner started on Sunday before the game, making his 20th start, a tremendous earned run average. So he's averaging probably about a base runner per inning pitch, Jamie.
Yeah, and he's very stingy with the walks. And for a guy that's known as a sinker ball pitcher, he has a fair amount of strikeouts, but that walk to strikeout ratio, 19 to 81, is pretty phenomenal.
So Ben Revere will lead things off for the Phils. Revere is 5 for 11 in the series. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And Tim Hudson still does rely on the ground ball. He may not be as much of a sinker ball pitcher as he once was. I remember seeing him in his youthful years in Oakland, where he really relied on the sinker and the split, and he showed the slider.
Well, that's 109 ground balls this year for Tim Hudson, which is 8th in Major League Baseball. So you're right, he does still rely on it. 53% of his outs are on the ground. I always think he's an amazing story. 213 wins during his big league career. He's a hair under 100 games over 500 for his career. He's 213 and 117.
Wow, I didn't realize that. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Here's Jimmy Rollins. Rollins is 19 of 84 against him with 3 home runs. So a 226 batting average.
And he's also endured some pretty substantial injuries over the course of his career. I know a couple years ago he hurt his ankle in Atlanta. And he also had an arm problem that set him back a little bit.
He's dealt with back injuries during his career. Outside with a changeup, 1-1. So his last 2 starts as a member of the Braves here at Citizens Bank Park. He pitched in 21 games last year for Atlanta because of that ankle problem. It was a horrific injury that occurred around the first base bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rollins.
He's always been known as a pretty good fielding pitcher, pretty agile around the mound. And I know when he was younger, he had really quick feet. He had a pretty good pickoff move to first base for a right-handed pitcher.
Change up low. It's 2-2.
But I will say one thing that really stands out to me, he's one heck of a competitor.
Oh, yeah. Always has been.
Does not want to give in.
That's one of the things about today's matchup. We always get the matchups before the series begin, and we look and say, okay, that's a good one on paper. That's a good one on paper. That one's bloop out into left field. It will drop for a base hit. Rollins thinking 2. Morse gets to it at the line. Rollins on his way to second. He's there sliding. 16 doubles this year for Jimmy Rollins. The Phillies have a runner in scoring position.
Well, that's great hustle right there by Jimmy Rollins, knowing that Mike Morse has to go to his right. The ball's going away from him. He fights off the slider that's up. It looks like it backs up. And off the bat, Jimmy, I think, was thinking 2 bases, realizing that Mike Morse had to go pretty good distance to his right and then somehow pick up that ball and make an accurate throw to second base.
Well, Rollins is on pace for 20 doubles, 20 stolen bases, possibly 20 home runs. Here's Chase Utley. Utley, for his career, also has a couple home runs against Hudson. Out in front of a changeup. It's 0-1. Chase 4 for 15 in this series. The guy with the best numbers lifetime against Tim Hudson is the guy not playing today. That's Ryan Howard. Ryan with 7 home runs lifetime against Hudson and a .328 batting average, 17 runs batted in. But Ryan Sandberg said before the ball game today that he wanted to see Darren Ruff in back-to-back games. He understands the numbers. He met with Ryan Howard today. Ryan, as a competitor, obviously not pleased with the fact that he's not playing today. Oh, balls, 1 strike to Chase Utley. Inside, 1-1. Ryan did say to Jim Salisbury today of CSNPhilly.com, and he even mentioned to Scott Fransky on his daily radio show on the Phillies radio network, that he is thinking it is going to be a platoon situation in some way, shape, or form moving forward. But it's going to depend also on matchups. Today aside, it'll depend on matchups and how one guy's swinging over the other. 2 balls and 1 strike to Chase Utley. So these are interesting times here at Citizens Bank Park. Rollins with a comfortable leadoff second. Ground ball foul. It's 2-2.
Really surprised to see how many splits Hudson has thrown early in this game. He normally relies heavily on that sinker ball.
This is his 30th career start against the Phils, so he knows that this lineup, the bulk of this lineup, they know every bit of his game plan. At least they think they do. Hamels hasn't faced the Giants as much, but he would be the same way, let's say, against the Braves or the Marlins or the Nationals. Look what he did against the Braves last time, Hamels. He threw all those fastballs to start the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Utley. Off the glove of Posey, and over to third goes Rollins. That's the 4th pass ball of the year for Buster Posey. Going to go out and chat with Hudson. Holding crossed up.
Yeah, I don't know if he got crossed up, or if that split just had extraordinary movement kind of east to west, and it kind of ate up Buster Posey.
Well, now the infield is in. Bruce Bochy's teams hit the ball well in this series. This is a kind of a tip of the cap to Cole Hamels, trying to cut off a run against a struggling offense. There's ball 4, and the Phillies have first and third with 1 out. Well, this is the injury we're talking about, as Hudson was going over to cover first base. He got stepped on from behind. Oh, man, that is just a nasty injury. Eric Young Jr. felt so bad after this. It's tough to watch.
Oh. Well, and you're always taught as a pitcher to try to step on the inside of the bag. And, you know, the big thing is you got to know where the bag is. And I think, unfortunately, Tim got a little lost in knowing where that bag was. And that's very unfortunate that that happened.
Marlon Byrd fouls that one off his foot. And it's 0-1. Those puppies are going to be bothering him for a little bit. Jimmy Rollins is going to be a nice teammate. He's going to come down, get his bat, hand it to him, give him a moment.
And you can be sure that Tim Hudson's going to go right back to that spot.
Now, as a pitcher, why do you do that? Do you want to see him foul it off his foot again?
Oh, yeah.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah. Or swing and a miss. But, you know, you create that awareness down and in like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when you need to make a pitch or want to make a pitch away, it opens that outer part of the plate.
but you got his focus on a spot that he really is not comfortable with.
Well, that one sailed outside. It's 1-1 strike to Bird. Jimmy Rollins over at third. Chase Utley at first here in the bottom of the first.
Usually when that happens to a hitter, that memory doesn't go away by the next pitch. It may not go away for a few days.
And he pulls it into left field, a base hit. The Phillies take the early lead. Rollins will come home. An RBI single from Marlon Bird. It's his 59th RBI of the year. It's 1-0 Phillies.
Here you see a slider that stays up, out over the plate, and Marlon just deposits it softly into left field for a base hit on the first run of the game for the Phillies to put them up 1-0.
Well, that's a 6-game hitting streak now for Marlon. And now Grady Sizemore. Sizemore is locked on 999 hits. Overall hitting .333 in a Phil's uniform. Just 1 for 9 in the series. Playing left field today. A ball and no strikes to Sizemore.
Phillies can lay off of that pitch right there, that sinker that runs through the bottom of the zone, and force Tim Hudson to elevate the ball a little bit. The chances the Phillies are having a big day are very good, because that's the pitch he wants you to swing at.
Arias has been trying to keep the runners close at second. He snuck it a couple times. First against Rollins, that time against Utley. And Hudson, for the second time, came to the plate. Arias was just shaking his head out at second base. That whole left side, there was a huge void. Now they're playing Sizemore to pull, so they're not expecting that he's going to punch it to the left side.
Look how deep Chase. Well, he starts out real deep and now starts to creep forward. And I think that's to try to feel the defender behind him as if he's moving towards him. Chase has taken his angle away from him. See, if Arias has to come to the bag, he has to come through Chase.
Man's always thinking. Outside 3-1.
And I really believe by Tim Hudson starting this game with so many splits and a couple of sliders, it really hasn't allowed him to establish the fastball the way he normally does.
Last outing, Hudson, who pitched on the 19th, allowed 1 run and 8 hits over 7 1/3. Giants won that game 5-3. It's over for a strike, and it's 3-2.
And I think the key here is for the Phillies to get him before he settles in, because he is one of those guys. If you let him settle in, he can be a very difficult opponent.
Line drive caught by Arias, who was playing right there, and Utley's doubled up, and the side is retired. Sizemore hit it right on the nose. The Phillies settled for 1 on a base hit by Marlon Bird, and we'll go to the second. At Citizens Bank Park, there's some pretty good things happening here at the ballpark, including Saturday. It's the W.B. Mason collectible truck, free to fans 14 and under. You can get tickets for all 3 games, including tomorrow night's Christmas in July celebration, where we invite you to bring a new unwrapped toy to the ballpark, where the Philly ball girls will be taking them at the gates. So come on out to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets for this weekend series between the Phils and the Diamondbacks. Top of the second, 1-0 Phillies. Pablo Sandoval will lead it off. Sandoval fouls the first pitch off Nieves, and it's 0-1. Pablo's having a good year, 280 with 12 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Down the right field line, and it's 0-2. He should have been here last night for A.J. Burnett's start. A.J.'s a big Batman fan. Marlon Byrd sidewinds in. Makes the catch. 1 out here in the second. Mike Morse is coming up, and let's check in for the first time today. Everybody, please put your hands together for Greg Murphy.
Oh, what a nice welcome. Thank you very much, Tom. It's good to be here. You know, baseball is a game of statistics and a game of numbers. You know, sometimes the numbers can be skewed and you can make them look one way or another. But every once in a while, a stat jumps out of you that is really kind of mind-boggling. Take a look at this. Cole Hamels has had 38 quality starts since 2013. That's tied for 5th in all of baseball. He's tied with Max Scherzer. Now, during that time, the Phils are 19-19 in those games, and he is just 12-9 in those games. Look at what Max Scherzer is. He is 28-1 in those quality starts, and the Tigers are 33-5. The obvious difference, run support. Hamels averaging just over 3.2 per game, and Max Scherzer getting more than 6 runs per game in his starts. That is a staggering number, 28-1 in those quality starts for Max Scherzer.
Jamie, what would you do with 6 runs of support each
Can you imagine?
I'd be smiling from ear to ear.
That is a remarkable difference. I mean, Scherzer's an unbelievable pitcher. There's no doubt about it. But you imagine Max Scherzer getting an average of 6 runs per game with his stuff?
Yeah, and that's the thing with the guys with this kind of stuff, these upper tier pitchers, their job, believe me, is not easy, but it makes it a little bit easier and affords a little room for mistakes every now and then.
There's a called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. 2 strikeouts for Hamels.
Well, guys, I'd like to point out that the Phils are on pace to score 9 in this game. So,
thank you, Murph, for that optimism.
Yes.
Here's a good fastball. Actually, looked like it came back, but threw it right to Will Nieves' glove. He didn't have to move it. I'll tell you what, Cole's looking really sharp today with an electric, we'll call it an electric fastball.
Here's Adam Duvall, who takes outside. It's 1-0. He homered earlier in this series. The only game the Phillies won in the series against the Braves was the one that Hamels started when he went 7 innings. They didn't allow a hit until the 5th inning of that ball game. It was a double by Tommy La Stella. It was only the 2nd base runner that he allowed in that game at that point. The numbers are statistically staggering for Hamels this year. You see that one, 3 runs or less. There's a fly ball into foul territory, first base side. Darren Ruff will give it a look, and it's out of play, and it's 1-2. How about that he's gone at least 7 innings in 12 of his starts this year?
Oh, and the other thing is, when you're in a losing skid like the Phillies are in right now, this is what you're looking for a pitcher to do. Come out, set a tone, and lead the team by example. And be the guy that stops that losing streak.
Not every guy could do that either. Fastball upstairs. It's 2-2. How about how gorgeous this day is today? Some cool air coming in from the west, from the Midwest. Breeze is coming in toward home plate. Temperature will be in the low 80s here this afternoon. 60s tonight.
No humidity.
No humidity. That one's to our right. Current conditions 78 degrees right now. Brought to you by Oliver Heating and Cooling. Visit oliverheatcool.com. Off the end of the bat, flared into center. Here comes Revere, and he'll play it on a hop, and it goes by him. Duvall will get at least to second base, and he'll stop there. So a single and an E8. Third error of the season for Ben Revere.
He's one of those in-betweeners. He's playing, I don't want to say over deep, too deep, but he had a good way to come, and he got a little too close. He got it kind of into no man's land, and he wasn't sure to either go after it, and at the last minute he tried to pull up, and the ball played him.
Yeah, he didn't get a particularly good jump initially. So runner in scoring position. That'll bring Joaquin Arias to the plate. Arias hits it down the right field line, and he'll slice out of play. It's 0-1. Oh. A valiant effort to roll over the top of the usher. The security guard. Murph, everybody okay down there?
Yeah, I think a couple bruised egos. Other than that, we're good.
That does happen. No balls and one strike to Arias. Whoa. Jamie, he tried to use two hands. You would have been very proud of the effort. He didn't need to jump though.
Yeah, it's a tough way to catch a ball right there.
Falling away from it.
Falling away in the stands.
Swing and a miss. Arias is struck out. Great job by Nieves to dig it out of the dirt. 3 strikeouts for Hamels. Giants got their first hit. They leave one in scoring position. We'll leave for the bottom of the second right now. From your smartphone, get all your scores, Philly sports news when you're on the go. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app today. Bottom of the second, Darren Ruff will be the batter. Ruff hitting under 100 so far and limited at bats here in the big leagues, 1 for 13. 1 ball, no strikes. Ruff was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game with a sacrifice. His 1 hit this year is a home run. Tried to hold up. He went around. It's 1-1.
Well, here again, he's trying to get on Tim, or excuse me, not Tim Lincecum, trying to get on Tim Hudson here, and again add on at least another run. Keep him in some stressful situations, or keep him in duress on the pitcher's mound. Again, letting him, trying not to let him get settled in is really, really important.
Outside, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Hudson is not the overpowering Tim Hudson as he was with the Braves. But the guy knows what he's doing out there. Ground ball softly to shortstop. Arias to his left. And there's 1 out. And Cody Ashley's coming up.
Does is he truly tries to present the ball looking like a strike as it's approaching the plate, but as it gets to the plate, it's got some sort of movement. It breaks down, it sinks down hard, or slides away. And again, it's that illusion of it being a strike as it's getting close to the plate. And as you saw right there with Darren Ruff with that split, it ended up not being a strike, and he rolls over a split that's out of the zone.
Well, now he's ahead 0-2 to Cody Ashley.
And he has a pretty good tempo too. When he starts getting into the game and finds his feet, or gets his legs under himself, he really creates a pretty good tempo for himself.
I am marveling, just as we were with Hamels' fastball in the first inning, because we haven't seen Hudson this year. Usually we will have seen him 2 or 3 times at this point. But I am marveling, about all of the different pitches he's throwing in these first 2 innings. Even there, ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a slider. Not that it wouldn't be in normal days, but it's 83-mile-an-hour slider.
Yeah.
Normal years.
And so far, he's gotten away with a couple mistakes. And those mistakes have been up in the zone.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Ashe. Up high, and it's 2-2. That was curveball. Will Nieves is next up. He's the number 8 hitter. Swing and a miss, and a changeup. That's the first strikeout for Hudson. Actually, that was a slider. It's time now for our Geico quote of the day. Here's Tim Hudson on leaving the Braves. The Braves made a push, but we were just too far down the line with the Giants. I still keep up with the Braves like I have my whole life. I still have a lot of great friends in that clubhouse. I can't say I don't still pull for them, except for when we're playing them. I think in his heart of hearts, he wanted to go back to Atlanta. Atlanta, like a lot of teams, had a budget that was sort of bustling. They just didn't have the same dollars that the Giants had. As Nieves hits one to left field for a base hit. His first career hit against Tim Hudson. And Hudson signed himself, Jamie, a nice contract. I mean, for a 39-year-old, 2 years at $23 million with the San Francisco Giants.
Well, very deserving. He's a very, I can't even, serviceable word would be, I think, a disrespectful word.
He's an all-star.
He's a very good pitcher, and his presence in the clubhouse, his presence on a pitching staff, and his experience brings a lot to a ball club.
Here's Hamels, who's 8 for 37 on the year. And he fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
You know, and I do have to believe when clubs are looking to sign players, that is a part of what they're taking in their thought process. And I really believe Tim Hudson would have been a huge help to that pitching staff in Atlanta.
Particularly with the injuries they've sustained, but also with the youthfulness that they have.
I kind of look at it as a mistake that they didn't try to go out and sign him, make a better effort at it. And they might now be looking back on it and say, well, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
I think there are people down in Atlanta that probably feel the same way that you do.
And yet you can't predict the injuries. But still, you look at his track record, and it's a pretty good track record.
No balls and 2 strikes to Hamels with Nieves over at first. 1-0 Phillies. Chopper right side. Adrianza will throw Hamels out. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. And 1 man left. We've played 1.5, or excuse me, 2, I should say. We'll go to the third. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Okay, Jamie, here we go. What country? Oh, this is a good question. What country was Giants, because you're a history buff, was Giants manager Bruce Bochy born in?
And I do know this, and it's not coming to me right now. I really do.
Somewhere in that head?
Yeah, I've heard this before.
History, geography, you like all those things.
Yeah.
Answer will be revealed in just a little bit. Are you trying to think what is like the where his last name would lead you?
Yes, I've heard this before.
Should go with something cool like Greenland or Iceland or something like that. I mean, you'd be wrong, but you could always say the United States. You'd be right most of the time.
But you're not going to give me the answer, so thank you for telling me. I know none of those are the answer.
Gregor Blanco takes a ball outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Blanco's 3 for 8 this series. He has scored 4 runs so far. Trying to run himself out of the box and slap that one like Rafael Furcal used to do. One ball, 1 strike to Blanco. Blanco hitting .233. He's hit in 8 of his last 9 games. Or inside, I should say. 2-1. Hamels is ready to go. Out towards shortstop, spinning toward Rollins. And Hudson will bat for the first time this afternoon. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they played a little earlier start time. Red Sox and the Jays are in the bottom of the third. It's 5-0 Toronto. Juan Francisco has a home run and a triple. Game got underway at 12:30 Eastern time. Hudson a swing and a miss. 0-1. Broke his bat, ground ball to second base. Utley has plenty of time. There are 2 outs. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Some of the photos that people sent around the internet and Twitter last night of all the lightning flashing in the area. Whew. Some amateur photographers took some great shots, but some of those storms, what we saw here at the ballpark wasn't anything compared to some of the other spots around the Delaware Valley. Well, the lightning, yes, but the rain and everything else.
Okay.
The lightning show, yeah. Here's Pence, and it's 0-2 to Pence.
Yeah, the way that storm came in here, it looked like it was going to blow the stadium over. You know, when it first started to come,
almost looked like the movie Independence Day, the way it was coming over. Pence lays off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bill Miller, the first base umpire today, the crew chief. He did everything he could to keep this game moving, even though it was raining and lightning was flashing every which way. Swing and a miss and a high fastball. 95 again. 4 strikeouts for Hamels this afternoon. His fastball velocity is the hardest it's been all year, consistently around 94, 95, and it's paying off so far through the first 3 innings. Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. On a gorgeous day for baseball here in Philadelphia. We hope you're enjoying your day wherever it is you are. On this Thursday afternoon, a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And after the game, a Modell's Kids Run the Bases. Perfect day to run the bases. And for that young lady there, she might be able to find her way around. Ava Rose, her first game. Ben Revere will lead it off. He grounded out his first time up. 1 ball, no strikes. Ben is hitting .322 here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the best average of any Phillies regular here at home. In fact, it's 9th in the National League in home batting average. Two balls and 1 strike. I think you're going to wind up seeing, I don't know if you agree with this or not, Jamie, or Murph, I don't know if you agree with this either. I think we're seeing sort of this 3-headed monster between center field and left field, between Revere, Sizemore, and Dominic Brown. I mean, all 3 are lefties, so it's not a platoon against a righty. Darren Ruff may get a chance to play out there as well, but I think we're at that point where Ryan Sandberg's starting to experiment with a number of different things to try to get some wins because they've been so hard to come by. 5-3 on the putout.
Yeah, I think part of that is he's going to have to go with a gut feeling in what he is seeing in batting practice, with their work in the outfield. And like he said, when Grady first came here, he wanted to give him an opportunity to go out and play and see what he could do. He's seen what Ben can do here in the first half of the season. It's just and where he is with Dominic Brown,
right?
And as you said, if there's other guys that they're going to give opportunities to play out there, Darren Ruff's going to get a chance to play out there, then so be it. But you're trying to give everybody not only say equal, but an opportunity to play, to show their skill sets and what they can do to make the best decisions for this team and for the future of this team.
No balls, 2 strikes to Jimmy Rollins. Up high, 1-2.
And a lot of times too, if you're dealing with 3 guys for that one position, I'm sure guys, or I know guys, have felt slighted that they didn't get enough opportunity. And to me, any opportunity is an opportunity, and you have to go out and show what you can do. And sometimes it's more opportunity, and sometimes it's not so much. So when you get that chance, you have to be ready.
The last couple of days, and it's very early in Ryan Sandberg's managerial career, and what will be you would think will be a long career, but these last couple of days are probably the most telling for him. That one's hit out toward right center field, playable for Pence. He's under it, makes the catch, 2 outs. I don't know if you could call it the most difficult 2 days, because this has been a difficult year with the wins and losses, but having to tell the second all-time leader in home runs in Phillies franchise history that you're going to go in a different direction for a few days, and it may be that way for the next couple of months. Even though Ryan Sandberg is a Hall of Famer, that's still probably pretty difficult to do in your first full year as a manager. And I know you have to be ready to make those decisions.
It is, but that's all part of the managing. It's some of the good times are telling a young kid, hey, you've made the team, or telling a guy we're going to release you, or telling somebody you're going to be traded. There's a lot of variables that come into play, or going out and just telling a pitcher you got to take him out of a game. I mean, those are all tough decisions, but that's the responsibility of a manager.
Is there ever a right way or a wrong way to do these things?
Well, not ever being there. Being on the other side, I think there is. I think when you treat your players respectfully, and I've always looked at it, you got to give respect to get respect. But when you treat your players consistently and respectfully, I don't think anybody can argue. But if there's inconsistencies with how you're treating people, then I think that's where managers and players run into problems. It doesn't just go from the managerial side; it goes from the player side too, and how you handle the situations.
2-1 pitch to Utley. Out front of a changeup, but it's 2-2.
But I've also always been a believer. I feel like from the player side of it, when I've been communicated to honestly and well on a consistent basis, whether it's just myself and my pitching coach or myself and my manager, when you have that open line of communication, it just goes far easier.
Utley pulls it toward the hole and through into right field, a base hit. 5th hit of the series for Utley. Two outs with a runner at first. Marlon Byrd is coming up. Well, we all know that Phillies being 15 games under 500, 13 games back, heading toward the trade deadline. The culmination of the first half wasn't pretty. The beginning of the second half hasn't been pretty. That you search for different ways to try to get things heading in the right direction. Sometimes it's trades, sometimes it's shifting a player around from being an everyday player to being a bench player.
You do it, and regardless of how you do it, whether it's a younger player, whether it's an older player, an experienced player, again, they're going through it here a little bit with Ryan Howard, and it's a learning process, and you're giving other guys opportunities. From at this point, it looks like Ryan has handled it very well, very professionally. And that's part of it, and that's the downside of the game, if you will. But it's reality, and we all go through. If you play the game long enough, we all go through it.
1 strike to Marlon Byrd. He singled home the only run. That was in the first. The right field line. Pence will give it a look, but it'll be back into the crowd. So will Duvall. Here's Marlins RBI. Bat on ball right here.
The slider that was left up out over the plate. Just got enough of the bat on it to flip it into left field. And the other side, or the other part to this, Tom, is that Ryan Sandberg knows how hard it is and what these guys have put into their life. They put their whole life into this, their whole career. He's been on that side. He's played the game. He's a Hall of Fame player. But at some point, he had to realize, too, as a player, hey, it's time to move on. And we're not looking at, and we're really not talking about anybody moving on here. We're talking about roles potentially changing.
Right.
And opportunities maybe arising for a younger player or for a player to give the organization a better look-see.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, because it's tough to sugarcoat it. I mean, he does have 60 RBIs, but he has come up with more opportunities than anybody else in the National League in RBI situations. He's hitting only .224 this year. Swing and a miss. Byrd is struck out. Side is retired. 2 strikeouts for Hudson here this afternoon. Phillies leave 1. They've left 3 through the first 3. Fanatic wanted a little bit more. We'll go to the 4th. Swing Lines Fusion Laminators, a super fast, super easy way to laminate and protect your best work. Order yours today from who but WB Mason. Top of the fourth, Phillies up 1-0. Hamels has struck out 4 through the first 3. This is the 7th game of this road trip for the Giants. They played 3 games in Miami out of the break. They've been averaging 5.8 runs per game in the 6. There was a lot of talk after the All-Star break about the Giants offense, how it had been struggling. Well, just as we talked about with Max Scherzer, if you're the Giants pitching staff and you get 5.8 runs per game, you should feel pretty good about yourself. They certainly haven't looked like they've lacked for offense in this series. I mean, yesterday maybe, but swing and a miss. And there's 1 out. 5 strikeouts for Hamels. 120 on the season. Now the Phillies and the New York Mets will get together another time here at Citizens Bank Park on Friday, August 8th. It's a 4-game series. It includes the wraparound on Monday. On Friday, all fans will receive the Roy Halladay bobble figurine, compliments of Toyota. Saturday, Charlie Manuel will be put in his rightful spot on the Phillies Wall of Fame. That also is sponsored by Toyota. Tickets can be purchased for all 4 games by going to Phillies.com. 1-1 to Posey. Who was literally blown away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball his first time up. Change up, hit back toward the middle, base hit. 86. That may have even been a cutter. Looked like a changeup though, didn't it?
It did to me too. Looked like an overthrown cutter. Didn't really, or changeup. It didn't really have a whole lot of movement.
Yeah, the Aves was set up as if it was a changeup.
Although Cole's fingers, he had 2 fingers on the ball, so I'm going to say it was a cutter that didn't cut, backed up.
Here's Sandoval, who flied to right his only time up. Sandoval came to spring training this year, an estimated 30 to 35 pounds lighter than he was a season ago. We always talk about his size. Now they've tried to trim him down. He went into a pretty good regiment this offseason. He's put on a few pounds since the start of the year. Could always hit. Hits that one to third. Ashley to second for 1. And the throw by Utley goes over the head of Darren Ruff. So the putout goes 5-4 at second. At a fielder's choice. Allows Sandoval to be safe at first. Chase had a lot of time. That throw just looked like it sailed.
Yeah, and I've got to believe usually that's because of not being able to get a good grip on the baseball. Fortunately, that ball stayed in play, and Sandoval was not able to advance to second base.
One on the changeup.
Phillies have done a pretty good job this series of keeping Michael Morse at bay here.
3 for 12 so far. Just missed it side. That'll get a pitcher honked. Close pitch like that.
Well, it had a little bit of a purpose. Again, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss off the plate, not on the plate.
Oops. That one slipped. 2-2 to Michael Morse. And a base hit to left field. So up to second goes Sandoval. Second hit of the inning for the Giants. And Adam Duvall will be the hitter. Ten balls, 40 strikes. For a total of 50 pitches.
I'd take that.
Take that and run with it. Starts Duvall off with a changeup, and it's 0-1. Duvall reached on the base hit his first time up, a ball that dropped in front of Ben Revere. Got a late start, and then it eluded him after it bounced. Nice catch by that gentleman. First row in the upper deck. It's a very good spot too to watch the game over in that those first or second rows up there. Saved his ride. Now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, gets away from Nieves, and it's a dead ball. It hit Duvall. And that ball got a piece of Nieves, so now the bases are loaded for Arias. That's the fifth guy that Hamels has hit.
Actually, it didn't hit him, according to that replay.
I think it just, his legs still bother him a little bit. That's why he's limping like that. You say it didn't hit Duvall, or it didn't hit?
Did not hit Duvall on that replay.
Let's take a look one more
see
time.
that.
Oh, this will be a more definitive angle. Oh yeah.
Oh, it hit him on the bounce. I was looking where it hit the ground.
And then it did hit Nieves after that.
Okay.
So the bases are loaded. Arias struck out his last time up. He is 4 for 10 against Hamels, so you got to be careful. Just off the, or just on the outside corner. 0-1 with a cutter. Ground ball, softly to shortstop. Rollins got to hurry over to first in time, and the side is retired. So a few extra pitches for Hamels, but he gets through the fourth. He leaves him loaded. Middle of the fourth, it'll be Sizemore, Ruff, and Ashe. Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Home half of the fourth inning. Phillies 1, Giants 0. Grady Sizemore will lead it off. Here's some of the pictures that we have from last night from here at the ballpark. The GoPro took that one. There was a lot of electricity popping around this ballpark last night. Woof. Grady Sizemore takes a change up. It's 0-1. Mentioned that once the game begins, because this is the only time the Giants are here in Philadelphia, it is the decision of the umpires when to start, stop, continue, do whatever when it comes to inclement weather. Bill Miller is the guy in charge. He woke up today and saw blue skies and cooler temperatures and said, thank goodness.
Look at that view right there. That's phenomenal.
Ground ball foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sizemore. Swing and a miss. Sizemore is struck out. 3 strikeouts for Hudson. Changeup just rolled over to the outer part of the plate. Split finger is his changeup. So 1 out. Darren Ruff's coming up. Time to check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Well, it's time for a Coors Timeless Moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. And it wasn't all that long ago on this date in 2011 when Pat Gillick was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He joined Bert Blyleven and Roberto Alomar on that day up in Cooperstown, and many Phillies fans were up there to remember that. And it seems like just yesterday when Pat Gillick went in, but that was 2011, guys.
Great speech. Pat's here. We've seen him the last couple of days roaming around. I've seen him. JB, you haven't seen him?
I have not.
He's your old general manager. He hasn't stopped in to say hi?
Love to say hello to him.
Murph, have you seen him?
I have seen him. Yep, I said hello to him earlier today.
Matt told me he saw him, so I guess he's just trying to avoid you, Jamie.
He can be elusive at times.
He can be elusive.
Good man, though. Always enjoyed conversation with Pat.
2 balls, no strikes to Darren Ruff. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. To the opposite way, and a base hit for Darren Ruff. 1 out single. Ruff is aboard. Just his 2nd hit this year in the big leagues. Well, speaking of the induction of the Hall of Fame this year, it's a pretty thick class. Represented by the Braves, Bobby Cox, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Frank Thomas, Tony La Russa, and Joe Torre. 75th anniversary of the Hall of Fame. This year's 2014 Hall of Fame class. In fact, the Braves are saying this weekend, actually that there's a tie to Atlanta with all 6 guys. Because, and it's a stretch, I admit. But La Russa played in the Braves system. That ball's hit back toward the middle into center field, a base hit. Ruff's thinking third. He started, then stops, and he gets back. First and second with one out. Anyway, Frank Thomas was born in Columbia, Georgia. That was the real reach. Joe Torre, of course, played and managed for the Braves. And then, of course, the three that are going in. They were trying to sell the tie, Jamie. Sell the connection.
I just think selling the 6 players is good enough. I mean, they all had great careers, either as players or managers. Very well respected in the game. Should be a great weekend in Cooperstown.
Joe Torre was your manager
for a short bit in St. Louis.
Right, okay. There's Nieves, who singled to left. But if you're a baseball fan, if you haven't been up to Cooperstown, it is a throwback town. It is beautiful. I know a lot of folks who have kids that play youth baseball. They have a lot of tournaments up there. It's a great way to have an excuse to go play some games and then go take in the history of that great town. 1-0 to Will Nieves. And he loops that one over to second. Infield fly rule is called, and there are 2 outs. Here's Hamels. He grounded out his first time up. See if Cole's thinking first pitch fastball here again. Well, he was, and he got a changeup, a splitter. Oh, and 1. Now he got a fastball. No balls and 2 strikes.
You gotta like the Phillies getting Tim Hudson up to 73 pitches here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, the Giants bullpen isn't as taxed today as it was yesterday, but they are making a move a little bit here. Posey thought about throwing behind Ruff, who's getting an outstanding secondary lead off the second base bag. Ruff's nearly halfway to third by the time this pitch comes in. Hamels fouls it back to the screen to remain 2-2. Phillies as a staff have 24 hits this year. Hamels has 8 of those 24. As you see the pitches by inning for Tim Hudson. And a call, strike 3. Hamels down looking. The Phillies leave a couple. 4 strikeouts for Tim Hudson. End of 4. Phillies 1, Giants nothing. Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. All right, JB, here's the question one more time. What country was Giants manager Bruce Bochy born in?
Well, my first thought was Germany, but my real answer is France.
France is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. How did you know the answer? How did you finally come to that?
Recall.
Just plucked it out of that steel trap.
Recall.
Gregor Blanco is going to lead it off. How are your new contacts working out?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Jamie's never worn contacts in his life, and he's now making the transition. You're never too old, Jamie. Never too old.
So they say.
So how's it working out?
I can see.
You going to be able to get along without your little cheaters that you have?
I'm going to need somebody here to help me get them in every day. I haven't learned how to put them in yet.
You think you're going to be able to take Murph home with you?
Possibly.
1 ball and 1 strike to Blanco. Grounded out to short his first time up. And he watches that one go by. Outside it's 2-1. Now you were putting one hand over one eye. You're just trying to get a little depth perception.
Well, one eye sees better. The contact is to see better at distance. And one eye is better to see close up.
Man, it stinks getting old, doesn't it?
Are you admitting to getting old? Because
Yes.
I'm not.
Well, I am.
No, it does, Tom. It does.
When I have to put those reading glasses on every once in a while in the morning, I know it's going to be later on in the day soon. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Blanco. And that's tapped foul. It remains 2-2.
But it's amazing where the vision world has come.
It's incredible. Incredible. I mean, forget about just LASIK surgery, but just the fact that you can wear contacts to help your reading. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Blanco. He fouls it off to the left side. He could have went with Kenny's look. Kenny's got double glasses going on. See, I would lose one or both of those.
That's too difficult.
On a consistent basis.
And then have to carry a man purse.
Well, it'll give you a lot of space to carry some other things. 3-2.
Well, I could put them in my backpack that I carry, but
which we
pretty full.
Which we all use because we don't want to get old. We want to feel like we're still a kid.
You got any peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the bottom of yours anywhere?
I do not. Not anymore. No. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that one's back toward the middle, a base hit. It is funny though, the stuff that you find after a few road trips.
Or bologna and cheese?
No bologna and cheese. The Uncrustables is probably a pretty good guess. Hamels now has given up 4 hits.
Or maybe a Reese's or 2 in the bottom.
There could always be a Reese's or 8 or 9 in the bottom. Thanks to my buddy Art from Trenton, who brought me a whole host of Reese's peanut butter cups the other day. Hudson bunts back toward the mound. Hamels off the mound quickly. His plays to first. So the sacrifice is successful. 1-3 on the putout. And to the top of the order for Hunter Pence. Pence flied to left his first time and then struck out swinging his last time. So hitless in 2 at-bats. Hunter Pence has the 2nd highest average among active players against the Phillies, behind Ryan Braun. Now part of that was before he went to the Phils, but a lot of that is what he's done with the Giants afterward. He liked his time here in Philadelphia, but he's a competitive guy. He'll let you know that he always try to do a little extra against the teams that let you go.
I would agree with that, Tom.
Yeah.
Whether there's hard feelings or not. I'm not trying to insinuate that there are, but you just want to feel like you got something to prove.
Well, it's like Tim Hudson with the Braves. And I think Hunter wanted to stay if he could. He loves it in San Francisco. I think he really enjoyed his year here in Philadelphia. See what he did with the Phillies. 28 home runs, 94 RBIs in the second half of 11, first half of 12. He's been a pretty consistent player numbers wise. You always talk about the back of your baseball card. He's basically been what the back of his baseball card shows. He didn't have great numbers the second half with the Giants when the Phillies sent him over there, but certainly helped in the postseason and then beyond. 1-2 pitch coming. Swing and a miss. He got it. 95 with a fastball. 6 strikeouts for Cole Hamels. 2 gone here in the 5th.
Here Cole just reached back. Actually, this whole at bat reached back for the fastball and was able just to throw that ball right by Hunter Pence. That was power versus power right there.
And a base hit it to center field. Rounding third, coming home is Blanco. The throw by Ben Revere is cut off by Chase Utley. And it's a 1-1 ball game. A-Ray Adrianza with an RBI single, and we're tied up here in the 5th. Well, they went after the first pitch.
It was a fastball. It was probably inner third, elevated, but it was on the plate enough where Adrianza could get the barrel of the bat to it.
Chase Utley was kind of, I mean, you could see what he was doing. He knows Revere has no chance at all to get Blanco, who runs well, and Ben does not have a good arm. So by jumping up and down like that, He was trying to make sure that he didn't throw it over his head and give Adrianza a chance to go to second base. I think that's the right play for Ben all the time. He just doesn't have the arm strength as Posey's behind 0-2 to get the guy at the plate.
It's a good point, Tom.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they've now gone to the bottom of the 6th inning. Marcus Stroman has not allowed a hit through 6 as the Jays lead the Red Sox 7-0. He has 91 pitches through 6 innings of work.
Well, Tom, if you're Bruce Bochy, do you put Adrianza in motion at some point here? And if he gets thrown out, you still have Posey leading off the next inning?
Well, that's a good question. I would say no, because Posey could pop it out at any time. But he certainly, if he makes it to second base, would look awfully good with Posey up and a runner in scoring position.
Sometimes it's the element of surprise.
Yeah. I think you're saying that you would start him at some point. Whacks it foul. Remains 2-2. Yeah, it's the old. Do I want to take the bat out of my best hitter's hands? Well, but you're right, though. I mean, Posey could easily lead off and pop it out of the
when I'm thinking that it's 0-2, it's 1-2. He's
right
in a pitcher's count. Maybe if he gets thrown out at second base, now he starts with a fresh count next inning. If he gets a base hit, maybe we got first and third. Or if it's a straight, well, now it's not a straight steal with 2 strikes.
There he goes. That ball hit the bat, and it's caught by the A base. It's a foul tip. It hit the knob of the bat. 7 strikeouts for Hamels. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left. We're all even at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Tuesday, August 19th. All fans coming to the ballpark receive the Ryan Howard Bobble free. You can order your tickets by going to Phillies.com. That Wednesday game, the Citizens Bank Business Person Special, another Modell Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases. Well, Adrianza was going on the last pitch to Buster Posey, but he foul tipped, and then halfway there, He got hurt. Right there. Oop. What if he cramped up?
I think it might be a cramp.
I've seen that a couple times in this series. We start the bottom of the 5th. Ben Revere leads it off. He's 0 for 2. Takes a changeup.
You got to drink your fluids, right?
Yeah. Well, they should have learned from Hector Sanchez the other night. Could barely make himself get himself down the stairs after that game. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Randy Goldstein of Philadelphia. Phillies hit home run in today's ball game. Randy will win $200. Now that Ben has a home run, he had to get that in before he got another at bat. He fights it off, loops it toward left. Here comes Morse, and it drops it. He had it and dropped it. Now it's left for Revere to go to second base. There's no breaking that one down. He just flat missed it. It was in his glove, and it came out.
It came a long way, but the hard part for him was turning his glove over and being able to catch it and squeeze it.
Tough to be a pitcher out in the open. It's tough to hold those emotions in.
Yeah.
Well, that's an error all the way. A 2-base error. Phillies have a runner at second. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. And Rollins shows bunt and bunts it foul. Rollins doubled his first time up, flied to right his last time. And he pulls it. Foul. Jimmy making a bid for another double. One ball and 2 strikes to Rollins. Still has a good fastball, though, 91 miles an hour. I guess he wouldn't have it at 91 the entire game if he threw it as much as he used to. What do you think?
Oh, I think he could maintain it. I think he tried to run that one back off of Jimmy's body, and it didn't run back. No, I think he could maintain that 91.
2-2 pitch. Foul tip, and Rollins is struck out. Well, that one was at 90, so he was in the neighborhood. Five strikeouts for Jimmy Rollins. And now Chase Utley will be the hitter. Utley 1 for 1. He walked his first time up. Phillies in this series before today's ball game, 6 for 36 with runners in scoring position. I know that's a number that we've talked about at length this season. It's really been accentuated more in the last 2 games. Prior to today, 2 for their last 21 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 15 in one of those games. Utley again fouls it off. I say again because his last at bat he fouled off a few. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Today's game 1 for 5 for the Phils with runners in scoring position. The one was the hit by Marlon Byrd. Utley hits it back toward the middle. That'll drop for a base hit. Rounding third, speeding home is Revere. He'll score without a throw, and the Phillies retake the lead. It's a 2-1 ball game. 48 RBIs for Chase Utley. And Utley 2 for 2 in today's game.
Fastball. Hudson, I've seen him throw a lot more high fastballs than I think I've ever seen him throw, and that was one of them there, and I think it came back to haunt him. Here's a guy that really used to live, as we talked about earlier, with that ball dropping out of the bottom of the zone, sinker, slider type of pitcher.
Well, Marlon Byrd will now be the batter with the runner at first base. Marlon takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Marlon had an RBI single his first time up. Struck out his last time. He's 5th in the league in home runs with 19. 9th in the league with extra base hits. Over to left side. Sandoval has a play at first, and that's it. Yeah, there are 2 outs. To second base goes Utley. Let's take a look at our Mazda leaders. The active leader in victories, Tim Hudson against the Phils with the 11. Jonathan Neese was just taken off the DL by the Mets. Ricky Velasco is pitching for the Twins. And Beckett, of course, has already thrown a no-hitter against the Phils this year. That's an unearned run allowed by Hudson. Grady Sizemore 0 for 2 today, and he pulls it foul. It's 0-1. Two. Sizemore's 1 for 11 now in this series. He hit in the first 7 games he played with the Phils. Distribution of outs. It's maybe the last inning for Hudson the way he's going here, although he's only down by 1. He's at 93 pitches. He hasn't been his sharpest here today.
Really interesting. Of the 7 hits that Tim Hudson's given up, 6 have been on fastballs. 1's been on a slider, and none of which have been with that split. And he's thrown maybe 2 curveballs all day.
Yeah, his split's been good. His slider's been pretty good too. Down.
His split's a pull. They seem to pull it foul, because it's so slow in relation to everything else, and the movement that it has. Now he has thrown early on. He threw a fair amount of splits that were up in the zone that either the Phillies didn't swing at or they fouled off.
Giants will go home after this ball game and face the Dodgers beginning tomorrow night in San Francisco. They have 9 more games left against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They lead the division by 2. While they've been beating the Phils, the Dodgers were losing last couple of games. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sizemore. And now 3-2. At bat, he's battling here.
It's really interesting, the battle here between Grady and Tim Hudson. Grady's seen a lot of fastballs, so a lot of hard and a lot of splits, which is soft. So it's rocking back and forth, hard and soft, hard and soft. Where Marlon Byrd has seen fastballs and sliders. And then you go to Chase Utley, where he's seen a lot of fastballs, a couple of sliders, and a number of splits. Early on, Jimmy Rollins saw a lot of soft. In this last at bat, he saw a lot of hard.
And there's ball 4. Posey thought it was strike 3. A walk to Grady Sizemore. Second walk of the game for Hudson. And that puts runners on first and second.
There's a split. It looks like Timmy got underneath it and kind of pushed it to the plate. And that's one of those splits that I was talking about early in the game. But it's really interesting looking back how they're pitching some of the Phillies hitters.
All right, so you have a game plan coming in as a pitcher and a catcher. You guys know, all right, this is how we're going to face this guy. This is how we're going to pitch this guy. As Ruff waits for his first pitch here. But I guess, like anything else, you can readjust it as the game goes on.
You may have that game plan to start, but you haven't even thrown a warm-up pitch, so you don't know what kind of stuff you're going to have in the bullpen. You don't know how you're going to feel, so you have to take that game plan and adjust it to how your pregame was. And how much validity do you really put into your pregame? I play with a guy by the name of Mike Mussina that thought that his pregame bullpen, was nothing but to get loose. He didn't really kind of judge what he had in the bullpen. He just went out there to get loose, and then he took it out. Whatever he had, he took out to the mound and made adjustments from there.
Borderline Hall of Famer.
Yes. So everybody does it a little different, but it is nice to know that guys have a plan.
2 balls and no strikes to Darren Rupp. You saw Juan Gutierrez warming up. Ground ball towards shortstop. And Joaquin Arias has it, throws over to second. Side is retired. 6-4 in the putout. Phillies do get a run to retake the lead. It's an unearned run. 5 in the books here in Philadelphia. Phil's up 2-1. also the 2014 Phillies Heart and Hustle Award winner. The only award in Major League Baseball that is given by former players is awarded to those who demonstrate a passion for the game of baseball and best embody the values, spirit, and traditions of the game. Roy Halladay said of Chase, he plays the game for all the right reasons. We couldn't agree more. And Utley's newest honor is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Phillies lead at 2-1. Chase Utley's RBI single. He has 2 hits today. Has given them the lead again as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Time now for our AT&T fan photo of the game. This one comes from Danger Man XX. Danger Boy and Danger Kid. They look a little startled at the game. It's a cool photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Danger Man, we appreciate that. Always good to see the kids here at the yard. Not a day game today. All those kids get a chance to run the bases after the ball game thanks to Modell's. Pablo Sandoval takes outside. Hamels has been sitting for a while. That was a long inning that produced the 1 run. Sandoval has fly to right. He's reached on a fielder's choice. Loops that one to right. Here comes Bird, and he makes the catch. You know, there are times where Bird doesn't, like any outfielder, doesn't get great jumps, but man, he does close fast.
He gets to top speed pretty quick.
Yeah. And I say that, but most times he gets very good jumps. I mean, 99% of the time. There, he froze for second, but he exploded to the ball.
And he goes, like I said the other day, he goes to his right very well, too.
Whereas earlier, that ball that was hit at Revere, he didn't get a great jump, and he wasn't able to explode to come in to make the catch on the first hit by Hamels. Mike Morse is 1 for 2. He is struck out looking, and he's singled. That one's out toward right. And is slicing out of play. One ball and 2 strikes to Morse. Well, he's not throwing 95 every pitch anymore, but he's still getting it up there once in a while, 95 miles an hour.
When he needs it.
Curveball, a called strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Hamels. He froze him.
Oh, very good curveball right there by Cole. And then, that fastball sets that pitch up.
Speaking of Cole Hamels, this Sunday when the Phillies take on the Diamondbacks, all fans 14 and under will receive the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 98 Cole Hamels t-shirt. Tickets are available for all 3 games of this series coming up against the D-backs. Go on to Phillies.com. 0-1 to Duvall, who has singled. He's hit by a pitch.
Well, that right there was great pitch selection and great execution to a first ball fastball hitter, especially in a 1-run game. Doesn't mean that you can't throw the first pitch fastball. It needs to be located, but that changeup right there was located very well. And then he comes back with a fastball that Duvall can only foul back.
Now the 0-2 pitch. And a liner out toward left field. Grady Sizemore is there to wrap it up. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Hamels. He's through 6. 85 pitches. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies 2, Giants 1. brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Just 3 runs so far. Yesterday was kind of quiet offensively. Time now for our Hyundai defense play of the game. All right, sometimes we do a little reverse defensive play. This one helped the Phillies take the lead.
Well, Mike Morse came a long way. He turned his glove over. I'm not sure why he turned his glove over, but he did, and it ends up helping the Phillies in a big way. Ben Revere hustles to second base, and that is the Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Yeah, and he was able to come around and score on the base hit by Chase Utley. As she is swinging a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Javier Lopez in the bullpen. Under 3 pitches for Hudson. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he picks up a strikeout to start the bottom of the 6th. An update from Toronto. We mentioned Marcus Stroman had a no-hitter at one point. Well, that no-hitter has been broken up by none other than Shane Victorino. Still being a pest. By the way, Juan Francisco is only a double away from the cycle for the Blue Jays in that game. They lead the Red Sox 7-0. The A base is 1 for 2. 0-1. Line drive fair down the left field line, just inside the line. And the A base will get to second base. Still not running perfectly. 7 doubles now from the A base on the year. And he's in scoring position.
Will stay with the slider away. Very good. Pulled it right down the left field line for a double.
Well, Hamels looked at Pete McCannon. Sandoval's thinking that he's going to bunt. Now he backs up. Hamels is 0 for 2. 1 ball and no strikes. Be the second time that Posey's been crossed up here today. One ball, 1 strike to Hamels. It's a season high 109 pitches for Tim Hudson. Their bullpen's been so good this year. He's been able to work deep into games and then hand it over. A lot of times he hasn't had to throw a whole lot of pitches to get deep into games. Giants fans have made their way to Philadelphia for this series. Heard a lot of them over the weekend, over the last few days, later in games. Obviously, with the Giants pulling out some late victories. Just like the Phillies fans, a lot of times go out to San Francisco to see the Phils take on the Giants. Same thing with the Giants fans making their way here to Philadelphia. Almost pulls it toward the right side. That'll get Nieves over to third. Hamels is retired, 3 unassisted. 2 outs. Ben Revere's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy University. And former All-Star closer Jim Johnson's Major League career has hit a serious speed bump. The Oakland A's have designated him for assignment. He has just 2 saves and an ERA well over 6 so far this season. This is the guy that had 50 and 51 saves just 3 years ago and 2 years ago with the Baltimore Orioles, but he's being headed down. And did you hear about the prank that the AAA team that Jeff Francoeur was playing for? The Padres organization pulled on him. He decided to use the coach's bathroom, which is really against protocol. So they decided to move all the exercise equipment in front of the door and not allow him to leave. After they did that, Francoeur decided to escape the bathroom by climbing through the roof and down into the ceiling into the clubhouse that way. The next day, he was called up by the Padres. So there you have it. A very slow day in the Major League Notebook. Yes.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, he seems to be the victim of a lot of pranks.
Well, he's a pretty. From all reports, I've only met him a couple times. I don't know him like his Braves teammates and Padres teammates do. Seems like a great guy.
Well, I asked Matt Stairs that because we were talking about it, and he said he is. Terrific guy. So.
But Revere hits one hard to first, but he's retired, 3 unassisted. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. Kyle Kendrick knows a thing or two about being pranked by his team. We'll go to the 7th.
Living in the sunshine. We're loving in the sunshine. In the summertime.
better, watching the ball game or getting some ice cream? It's 2-1 Phillies lead as we take a look at our local Honda dealers game summary. Marlon Byrd and Chase Utley each with RBIs for the Phils. That's back to the pitching of Cole Hamels. 8 strikeouts over the last 6. He has 17 strikeouts over his last 13 innings of work. And he begins the 7th comfortably at 86 pitches. I should say at 85, now at 86. Facing Joaquin Arias, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out, he's struck out. Big hop for Cody Ashe at third. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. We'll see the prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. Dude's fired up with a free T-shirt and some other goodies.
Pretty cool. They teach them to clap the same every day.
Yeah. Yep. It's a prerequisite being part of the Citizen 7. A lot of sitcoms that are that way too, Jamie. There's Gregor Blanco, who was 1 for 2. He singled and scored.
Who's the coach of that?
What's that?
Who's the coach of that?
You have a variety of comedians who are the coaches of that.
Okay.
Second single of the day for Blanco. And Marco Scudero will pitch it for Tim Hudson. I know you went down to the Giants clubhouse yesterday. Scudero hasn't played the last couple days. It's his back, right? It's not his neck?
It's his back.
Which is why he was on the DL.
Correct. It sounds like he's available to pinch hit and to run, and probably in a pinch, you know, they could use him for a short stint in the field. But I'm not sure that you know, he's back to 100% yet.
I wonder if that means they'll put it back on the disabled list again. Although they've got injuries to deal with. He bunts twice. Ball bounced up and hit his bat the second time. It's 0-1. Because it kind of, I mean, they know better than anybody, but it does seem like a wasted roster spot if his back is bothering him that much. Hudson's done after 6 innings, 1 earned run.
You know, here's a little trick when you got a guy that's looking a little runnerish at first base, like Blanco is. After you come set, instead of picking your leg up first, you start with your hands first, slightly before you start with your legs. And if he's going on first movement, he's going to take that bait, and now you're prepared to throw the ball over, and you pick him off.
Yeah, that's something I would think you have to practice a little bit too, because you can get into the mode of balking if you're not used to that.
Oh, not necessarily. See, he made sure that Cole was going to go to the plate. But I'm not totally convinced that if he really wants to go here, he's going to go on first move.
Yeah. Kind of like Revere last night against Bumgarner. What did you and Larry decide about that? You and Larry Anderson. He was asking whether we thought Bumgarner was balking on that. We said we didn't really have a good angle to see.
Yeah, the angle to determine that we had was not, I didn't think was good enough to make a real determination.
So I think there are some folks downstairs that thought he may have been balking over to first. I think either way, Revere was going on first move anyway.
Well, as I mentioned last night, the thing that he did to get the ball quicker to the first baseman was to get his foot down, because you can't throw with your foot in the air.
Out towards center, not deep. Here comes Revere. Two outs, and Hunter Pence is coming up.
Okay, you pitched a really good game to this point. You got 2 outs here in the 7th inning. You got a man on first. I really believe you got to be very particular to how you pitch Hunter Pence, especially the way he has swung the bat this series. I think Cole's handled him pretty good today with 2 strikeouts, but it takes 1 swing of the bat to change the game. So you got to be really smart here with what you're doing. And again, not be passive. Keep your aggression, like he did right there with the changeup.
Kind of feed off his aggressiveness a little bit too.
Exactly.
Well, I think that changeup right there was a good way to start.
Well, I think he needs to stay aggressive with his fastball, and he's ahead in the calendar. He doesn't necessarily have to throw everything in the strike zone, as you saw right there. I'm not necessarily sure I like a backdoor cutter, something that's moving in towards his bat. That's, slider speed. I'd rather see an elevated fastball here, something in the dirt that he may chase, because if he can reach it, he's going to put the bat on it like that.
I think this is a compliment. This is by no means something else, but Hunter Pence is probably the closest thing to Vladimir Guerrero going after bad pitches, hitting bad pitches that this game sees right now.
Having the ability to hit,
I guess that's better.
Non-strikes.
Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence. Runner goes, pitches swung on and missed. Throw him a changeup. Side is retired. He's gotten Pence 3 times here this afternoon. 9 strikeouts for Cole Hamels. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Middle of the 7th. Phillies lead it by 1. Like Marlin, they have an opinion about the Ryan Howard situation, as everybody does here in Philadelphia. We may see Ryan at some point as a pinch hitter as this game moves on. Not here, though. Cole Hamels very good so far through 7. He'll be out to pitch the 8th. Phillies will send Jimmy Rollins to the plate to start things off. Fans, follow every Phillies game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store. Visit Phillies.com today. Brandon Crawford will take over at shortstop for the Giants as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Joaquin Arias moves from shortstop over to second base. And the new pitcher is Javier Lopez for San Francisco as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Well, Lopez's overall numbers are very good. His numbers in the series, like everybody else out of the bullpen for the Giants, is but exceptional. 2 earned runs in 16 innings of work. That ball's hit down the left field line. Morse on the run, and there's 1 out. So Rollins is retired. Chase Utley's coming up. Utley's 2 for 2 with an RBI today. They're swapping hats. A few more years, that one might fit him. Imagine if that youngster put Bruce Bochy's hat on right now.
He'd get lost.
He probably would. Bruce has got a big melon.
A lot of baseball knowledge in it, too.
Yeah, he's been a good manager. He pulls it to second. The Fanatic, who does so many great skits, and a lot of times used to do this same kind of skit with Placido Polanco. He was doing this great skit yesterday, sort of imitating Bruce Bochy's head, the size of his head, where he was trying to show how heavy it is and using his own head to show how heavy Bruce Bochy's head is, how big it is. It was just very funny, where he would rock back and forth as if one side was heavier than the other. It would cause him to lose his balance. That's when he fell to the ground and Hunter Pence resuscitated him.
Speaking of the Fanatic,
he's arrived on the dugout just in time to watch Marlon Byrd's base hit it to right center field. Taking all the credit for it. This is yesterday impersonating Sandoval. Remember Sandoval fell the night before? Sandoval fell coming out of the batter's box the night before. And after he fell imitating Bruce Bochy, Hunter Pence resuscitated him. Pence said, greatest mascot going. I couldn't let him sit there. I had to help him out. Sizemore takes on the outside corner. Off the end of the bat, out toward left. Crawford on the run. The shortstop getting to the spot, makes the catch. It was really his play and nobody else's. No runs, 1 hit. And 1 man left for the Phillies. We've completed 7 innings. We'll go to the 8th. It's just a 1-run game. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Go to the top of the 8th inning. Phillies have scored what is now, we're being told, 2 unearned runs today against the Giants. Cole Hamels has been outstanding this afternoon. 64 fastballs, 24 changeups. The average speed of his fastball, according to our research that we use with Bloomberg stats, 93.9 is, if I recall correctly from looking at it, is it 1 mile per hour heavier than usual?
1.9 miles per hour.
So he's usually at 92 on average, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Starts things off against Brandon Crawford. And he delivers a strike. And it's 0-1. And we'll explain what Jay Dunn's reasoning is as far as the unearned runs go for Tim Hudson. A lot of the stuff that happens, a lot of times it's up to the discretion of the scorer, as that one's hit out toward right center field. Revere into the alley. Puts it away, 1 out. I don't know how many people are interested in this or not, but back in the first inning, Rollins doubled with 1 out and went to third on a pass ball. Then Utley walked to put runners on first and third. Marlon Byrd singled. That scored Rollins. Well, it's of the decision of Jay Dunn that you can't assume Rollins would have scored from second on the base hit by Byrd. So the pass ball aided that run. So that's why it's an unearned run. One ball and no strikes to Buster Posey. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch number 100. Boy, his splits have been right on pace all day. Remember before it was 10 balls, 40 strikes? Well, it's basically in the same neighborhood here as we get to 101 pitches. Same ratio.
Cole's been in command of this game from the first pitch of the game on.
Tried a curveball and it missed outside. Giles is up in the pen.
We talked about in our pregame that this potentially could be one of those games, but with the starting pitchers.
Absolutely.
For 6 innings it was while Tim Hudson was in the game.
Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, which Hamels did in the first inning and did in the 6th inning. Did it in the 3rd as well. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Ball was smoked off the front of the camera well at the Giants side of the field. Strikeouts, 7 flyouts, 6 groundouts. And here comes the 3-2 pitch to Posey. Check swing. Oh, that was a really good pitch. Hamels is wondering where the heck it was. That was a really good fastball. Phillies were not happy with the strike zone last night in the 9th inning. That's a strike. Oh, man. Oh. He definitely held. All right, now Cole's got to settle himself down here. You've been there.
I have.
If you're Nieves, you're saying something, obviously, but Hamels' body language tells enough of the story.
Right. Well, he kind of threw up his arms, which is something you really don't want your pitcher to do. Hopefully your catcher's back there working that umpire. Hopefully he's been back there working him all day. But here's a situation too where you have that umpire come out. To me, is you continue to act like you're having a conversation with Will Nieves, and just ask the umpire, where did you get that pitch? You don't have to be demonstrative. Just ask him where it was.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll say, "Hey, I missed it," and then there's really nothing you can say. Or if he says, "Hey, I had it inside," okay, well then you have a gauge, or you can ask him to give it a better look.
Well, Nieves was just talking to him. Well, now Sandoval with 1 out and a runner at first. Short lead for Posey. Sandoval swings at the first pitch. And it's 0-1.
But I will say it is a little frustrating when you feel like you've made a good pitch and you've thrown a lot of good pitches during the course of the day, and then I don't want to say you get that call. That's a deserved call, and it goes against you.
You probably at that point thinking, I got the benefit of the doubt going here.
And then sometimes you're going, oh, okay. Then you look who was hitting. You go, oh, you're going to give him a pitch? He doesn't need to be given a pitch. He's too good of a hitter to give him 4 strikes.
See, now last night when Papelbon thought he had Pence struck out, that was my thought, is that Pence has been red hot. They've watched him in this series, but he got the benefit of the doubt. 0-2 to Sandoval with a runner at first. Fastball up high, 1-2.
Well, and if he realizes he missed it, sometimes they're willing to give you a makeup call.
Out front, fly ball, shallow left. Sizemore comes in. Two outs. And not for nothing, but Patillo's strike zone has been very good today.
He's been very consistent.
Yeah. That is a foul ball, broken bat.
Well, and it's interesting. Throughout my career, I've always felt that there's many umpires that would call strike 1, strike 2, but they won't call strike 3.
Yeah.
And unless it's a blatant strike,
unless it's a perfect pitch.
Yep.
So they'll ease the strike zone a little bit for 1 and 2.
And sometimes that's a struggle because when you're expecting, when it's been a strike, and then they're not willing to call it a strike when you make that quality pitch, especially in a tight situation, it's very frustrating.
No balls, 2 strikes to Mike Morse. 33,258. Getting behind Hamels. And he fouls it off. It remains 0-2.
And then you have some umpires that, anything close, boys, swing the bat. And they talk about speeding up the game. To me, if it's close, and I'm saying it's got to be real close, but if it's close and you're consistent with it, it's a strike. And if the hitter knows that and the pitcher knows it, they're swinging.
Check swing. Did he go? No. This is the first base umpire, Bill Miller. For the Phillies today, if you're looking ahead to the 9th inning, and there's really no looking ahead, I guess, at this point, but Papelbon, although you saw him stretching, is 99% sure he's not available, according to Ryan Sandberg. Diekman, DeFreitas, Giles, one of those dudes will be the closer. Swing and a miss. He got him. Strikeout number 10 for Cole Hamels. The 27th time in his career he has reached double digits in strikeouts. A fantastic 8 innings today for the Phillies left-hander. Well, he thought he had Buster Posey at one point of this inning. They didn't get him, but took matters into his own hands, and he was able to throw a nasty changeup to get Mike Morse. That wrapped up the 8th inning for Hamels. Alumni weekend, the start of it. It's the Roy Halladay Bobble Figurine. That'll be given out to all fans. Compliments of Toyota. What are your tickets for that 4-game series against the Mets? It's a great weekend. It always is. If you're nostalgic, if you want to reminisce, I mean, let's face it, it's 2014. Some of the members of the 2008 World Series championship team will be here. Charlie Manuel will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame that weekend. It's going to be a great weekend here at Citizens Bank Park. Think back to the great years that you guys had, winning all those divisional crowns, and then eventually the World Series championship and 2 World Series appearances. Cole Hamels, 2 earned runs in his last 15 innings, 19 strikeouts in his last 15 innings. Doesn't look like a man who's done, by the way, Jamie, just looking at him in the dugout.
I would agree with you, Tom. And why? Finish it.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's tired at all. Gene Machi will be the new pitcher for the Giants. He'll face Darren Ruff.
I'm sure if he gets the opportunity to go back out there, somebody will be up right behind him, just in case.
It just as Giles was a moment ago.
Yes. Oh, got the handshake.
Oh, we got the handshake, so Giles will start loosening up again. I don't know. I will correct myself again. It's Papelbon that will start throwing the pen. One ball and 1 strike to Ruff. outside corner, and Ruff is called out on strikes. One away here in the bottom of the 8th. Cody Ashley's coming up, I should say. Off the end of the bat, a spinner to shortstop, playable for Crawford, 2 outs. And Will Nieves will come up for the 4th time today. Will's 2 for 3, a single and a double in this afternoon's ball game. Dominic Brown is out of the on-deck circle. Out front of a breaking ball, it's 0-1. So Tim Hudson went the first 6 innings. Then Javier Lopez pitched the 7th for the Giants. And here's Gene McChee. Pitching here in the 8th inning. Off the end of the bat, over to the right side. Phillies didn't hit all that hard in this inning. Gets McChee. He had them off balance. So it looks like Papelbon is going to come in for a 3rd consecutive day. We'll come back to try to save it.
Ninth inning, Phil's still with that 2-1 lead. When this one is over, Phil's will welcome the Arizona Diamondbacks to town for a weekend series. Take a look at the pitching matchups. Wade Miley will get the start on Friday night versus Kyle Kendrick. Miley at 6-6. The right-hander Josh Colmenser versus Cliff Lee on Saturday. And then Vidal Nuno and Roberto Hernandez will get the ball on Sunday. Nuno, a left-handed pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Guys?
All right, Murph, we appreciate that very much. In fact, the Diamondbacks should be in town. If not in town, they'll be coming in today. They are not playing today. Jonathan Papelbon will take over. Papelbon has thrown 55 pitches the last couple days. 2-2 on the year, 1.96 ERA. Allowed 3 runs yesterday. Allowed the run on in the 9th inning in game 2 of this series. So he's on to face Adam Duvall as we go to the 9th inning. Hamels done after 116 pitches. First pitch is low. First pitch strikes, 26 of 32 for Hamels. Boy, just talking to Ryan Sandberg today, he did not think that Papelbon would be available today. Now, when we're told that information before the ball game, the pitchers haven't thrown. A lot of times pitchers will throw just to see how their arm feels. That one is straight up in the A base, back toward the screen, and makes the catch right along that screen. One away. That's a good job.
Give Will a lot of credit for staying with that ball that's right by the screen. And I got to believe as that ball's coming down, it started behind that screen with this kind of spin that ball creates when that ball's hit like that. For that ball to come down at that point, it had to start behind that screen. So give Will a lot of credit for that. That's a great play.
Well, one out here.
Not easy.
Not easy. Nope. One out. Here's Arias. What Jamie's saying about that ball coming back, that's what happens a lot of times for catchers, is that the ball will come back the way it's spinning. It might be 2 feet in front of you when it's up, and as it's coming down, it's going to be either back over your noggin or even behind you a little bit.
They always tell you to stay ahead of the ball. So as it comes down, it comes to you. If you stay under the ball, it's going to go past you. And it's just the way it is with those types of pop-ups around home plate like that. It's just the way the ball's hit off the bat and the spin that's put on it. It's when it comes back down, it's going to go away towards the field. Always.
That's in there. It's 2-1. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 outs. After the ballgame, stay tuned. Phillies postgame live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Marlon Anderson's going to talk about what has been a great pitching matchup today. Cole Hamels dominant. Allowed just 1 run, struck out 10. That's coming up. Phillies postgame live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Gregor Blanco is the batter. He has 2 hits today. Low, ball 1. Upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Out toward left field. This should do it. Sizemore back toward the track. Makes the catch. And the Phillies have ended this 4-game losing streak with a 2-1 victory over the Giants. Cole Hamels, outstanding through 8 innings, 10 strikeouts. Gets the win and gets back to the 500 mark. Well, this was a good day. This team, which has been black and blued for most of the year, they needed somebody to stop this losing streak, and today that responsibility fell on the shoulders of Cole Hamels, and he did not falter. His fastball averaged close to 94 miles an hour. Our Chevrolet player of the game was the left-hander who he was dealing this afternoon.
Yeah, Cole, again, like we talked during the telecast, he started this game on fire with an electric fastball, and he set a tone early with that fastball and established it in the zone and above the zone, and then started to use some off-speed pitches. And as he went through the game, he really had total control of this game. You can tell by some of the at-bats that he had against Hunter Pence. I mean, he struck out Hunter Pence 3 times, who had a great series for the first 3 games against the Phillies.
So the Phils win it today by a final score of 2-1. Will Nieves was the guy catching Cole Hamels. He also had a couple of hits today, so he had a front row seat to not only Hamels but also Papelbon. He's down on the field with Murph. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Yeah, a couple of hits for this guy, and also behind the plate for a terrific performance from Cole Hamels. Let's start there. Cole Hamels looked like he was in complete control this afternoon.
No, he did a great job. He was throwing everything for strike, keeping the ball down, getting ahead. It was really fun catching him. He was throwing 95 today, 94. You know, like I say, just a lot of life in his ball and change of good. It was really fun catching him, like I said.
And Jonathan Papelbon comes in, and we know what's happened the last 2 days, but he is able to get a little bit of redemption. And you make a play up against the screen. We were talking about it. Was that over the screen at one point, and then it came back?
It was a tough one, yeah. I mean, I was trying to push the screen away so I can catch it. But no, I mean, Papelbon, he's been there, you know, for a lot of years, you know, and he knows what to do to win some games, you know, and to close them. And yeah, a couple rough outing, but he came back today and you know, give us a win.
Yeah, you've come back within the last week. A couple of guys have come back as well. The losing streak is now over. Just how important is it to, you know, get this thing rolling in the right direction, if for no other reason from a mental standpoint for this clubhouse?
I'm excited of you know, coming back and being with the team. You know, first time ever in my career that I've been hurt. You know, and it's huge. Hopefully we start a nice winning streak now. You know, you got to start from 1, you know, so now we got 1, so let's keep it going. We got Arizona coming now, and just keep playing good, hard baseball, and hopefully, you know, everything goes our way and start winning like we're capable of.
Thanks, Will. Real nice game. We appreciate your time. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Our WB Mason delivery of the game. Not a whole lot of runs today, but the Phillies got the go-ahead run, Jamie, in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, you get him when it counts, and right here, Chase fights off a high fastball and dumps it into center field. Ben Revere scores for the go-ahead run to make it 2-1, and that's all that the Phillies needed today, was just 2 measly runs. That will be the WB Mason play of the game.
All right, so 2 unearned runs against Tim Hudson, and Cole Hamels made it stand up. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.